What's going on, everybody? We are back in here once again with another live stream. Shout out to you guys for being in here, being involved and being active on this channel on this magnificent Money Monday, aka Melanin Monday, aka the weekend. What's up for the weekend, my ninjas? Is over. Let's make sure to start off on the right foot. Make it a great week. Good morning, good evening, or good night from wherever and whenever you are tuning in. Shout out to the live gang, replay gang watching this in the future, and of course the Lurk Squad. Let me go ahead and check for any audio issues that may or may not be on my end. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Check, mic check, mic. Sweet, so far so good. No issues, man.
Nope.
And all three platforms are running smoothly. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Today we will be reviewing the OB33 Ishtar update, where the item and god balance patch notes portion of the update will be discussed on the Titan Talk for a Friday. We must inform ourselves and stay updated with the current information that is up and coming. Patch drops tomorrow, so we're here to not be ignorant.
Nope.
Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Let me know if you did. If you didn't, let me know too. We could chat about it. Get started.
Nearly hit the wrong button. I did, but nobody's. Good afternoon and welcome in to another Titan Talk.
Boom, here we go. We are in studio once again with Induman, Pilgoon, and Manny the Mannequin. We have infiltrated the high-res, aka Titan Forge Studios. And we are here. We are there. We time traveled. We went back in time to make sure that we were in that same room when this live stream was happening. Let's do it.
Afternoon and double check. I was like, wait, is it a different time? But we always do this at the same time.
It's always afternoon. It's always
Yeah.
approximately 1 hour afternoon, give or take a minute or two.
Well, it's April 17th,
Yeah.
and
It is.
today we're going to be
Okay,
going
yeah.
over the overview of the balance notes for OB33 coming with the Ishtar update as well.
Oh, today is Dope Fiend Day. That's right. Today is April 20th, aka 420. Blaze it. For all you dope fiends out there, today is your day.
I'm basically going through all the stuff that's coming to the game, the reasons why we're doing some of those things, and also, as always, it's going to be like, well, why haven't you done this? And we'll kind of go through that and questions at the end too. To start things off real quick, I will quickly just show my screen.
Handy
And go, hey,
dandy
just a heads up,
desktop.
there
There
is
we
an
go.
art competition going on as part of Smite Prime. We are supported with diamonds as always. Make sure you head
Art
over to Smite Prime to check
competition
out the
for all you
medals
artists out there. It's still going on.
Art competition, which is all kind
Started
of around
the
spring
15th,
theme for the most part.
5 days
so
ago.
send in your submissions there. We'll review
Go
them
on to the
on
May
May 15th,
6th,
all being well, and
after
announce the winners of the
Revenge
competition
of the
that the
5th.
community vote for. That's the cool thing that's going on there. And additionally, I hope this works. Hey, Smite Prime also
There
this
we go.
weekend. Make sure you check out the April circuit. That's
It's a
going
cool
to be
figurine
on
of
and going.
Chiron there.
Always consistent over the weekends too. There's also AGL
looks
tonight
like
on
one.
Smite Game if you want to check that out at 7 p.m. and on Sunday too. But that's just quick updates on that front before we get into notes today. How are you doing today, Kilgoon?
I'm doing good. Yeah, just grinding through things.
Got a
It's been
fruit
busy.
shirt he's got on. Fit check.
We have a potential start date for our new designer, so I'm excited
Nice.
about that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
everything's,
Awesome.
everything's moving
I
forward.
say nice like you didn't tell me already, but I was like, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, things are moving forward on
Hey, that's good to know. Round of applause there. Congratulations. A new designer will be starting soon. At least there's a fixed date now. Better than having it up in limbo, up in the air, you know.
the other stuff that I have to deal with every day. So
Yep.
yeah, life is good.
Always going. Well, we can crack straight on then with OB33 notes. Just a heads up, these are available, as you can see in chat right now. If you're tuning along on the Smite Prime website, we pass those along for people. Should be available for you all to check out, but also we'll be here going through them now. So we'll look at the stuff coming to the game. So
Okay. Yep. They did mention this previously on the Wednesday one. the global crit adjustment. The bonus damage from a crit is now 150%. This is a reduced from, I should put reduction if they're going to put form there. Oh, no, never mind. This is reduced from 165. Never mind. I read it wrong. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. The bonus damage from a critical strike is now 150%. This is reduced from 165%. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I read it wrong. I added an extra word in there. For some reason. My mind. Tenacity improvement. This stat now also reduces the intensity / strength, but not the duration of vortices? I guess vortexes? Fears and taunts, intoxicates or trembles, slows, knockbacks, and knock up. Ooh, so pulls not affected, and then I guess perks would be a pull to location kind of ability or knock up to location. Those are exceptions to the rule, of course. I did mention that as well. Increased duration of eligibility for NPC assists from 5 seconds to 10 seconds.
First thing to really mention,
okay.
I've kind of organized it this week because there's a few things that we wouldn't normally talk about in the OB33, and we did mention on Wednesday, but there has been a couple of adjustments since then.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so
we're just going to be looking at this past no show today. It's going to be a super chill, super relaxing, short stream. Tomorrow, we're going to be going more than likely in overtime, so we're preparing for that.
Obviously, there's quite a number of like conquest
second tab
changes that are intended
vibes
to
today.
Address snowballing and the prevalence of the jungler role and some pacing concerns and whatnot. And we play tested those as part of our PTS server, and we also play tested them with ambassadors. And we got some feedback that there were a few areas to people generally like the direction, but there were a few areas for improvement. So we've continued to further evolve those. So going to go through kind of that whole thing today and what's changed.
Nice.
A couple of additions that we've added to this and just things to go over just to remind people and make them aware of with the changes too. So first of all, crit.
Yes.
Global crit adjustment. We're going to be reducing the bonus damage from critical strike. It's now going to be 150%. It was 165%. Been a bit of a frustration. I know the time to kill has been a real factor, and crit has been kind of relevant with the introduction of Echo a little bit. So this is kind of something we've gone back to and looked at.
Yeah, I think it's more that Echo made people realize how good crit was, and the crit was just always kind of good. This change actually brings the bonus damage for a critical strike in line with Smite 1. Smite 2 critical strikes were always more valuable, excuse me, than in Smite 1. So this should
hydrate up.
A better number to balance the game around, I believe. There are some other knock-on things that we're going to have to get to, as part of this patch and eventually later in the future.
Definitely.
And probably.
But I think that like this is going to be better for the game. That crit will still be strong. I played it in playtest this morning. It was still strong.
Yep.
But it's not quite as strong. And again, talking about multiplicative numbers, the number that is being multiplied is now going to be smaller with a smaller critical strike. So it should address some of those interactions in part.
And again, the knee-jerk reaction will be crit is now dead. And obviously, as time goes on, we will continue to iterate crit. When there's no plan for us to kill crit completely, but also bring it a little bit more in line and not be as potent.
Yeah, it's just a 15%
next on the list, you can see
reduction.
tenacity improvements too. Now, this is really just towards...
That's not too bad, man. I can live with that.
In the game too. This basically affects how the stat reduces the intensity and strength, but not the duration of these abilities for vortexes, fears, taunts, intoxicate, trembles, slows, knockback, and knockouts.
Yeah.
I know there's been some discussion around some things like Hercules' ability, and there was a clip that was on Sobek where everyone's like, look at this. There's one or two that are going to be an exception to the rule in the sense of like to destabilize a kit.
Yeah. The best way to describe it,
which makes sense,
is if it's what we call a knockback to a point. That will not be adjusted by the tenacity changes to knockbacks and knockouts, right? So an example would be Hercules, push or pull, right? A Wheelix pull. I'm pretty sure Susano too.
That all makes sense.
Things that all are the ability needs to go to a point for the muscle memory of everything and how it works, I would say. Things that are not that way, though, will be impacted by this. And this is, I think, a really exciting change for CC reduction, right? Because we had this CCR stat in Smite 1, but there were all of these things that it never addressed.
That's true.
And now it'll be a much more holistic stat that addresses everything in the game, basically, except for these handful of knockback 2-point
outliers.
I will say, you mentioned Sobek. Yeah. Sobek was not intended to be affected by this. Sure. So Sobek will be, will be one of the ones that has an exception from it, because that's another one of those that, like, that kind of, I should make this clear. Sobek 1 will not be affected by this. Sobek 2 would be affected by this.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, you do have to build tenacity to get any benefits against this. This is just
which makes sense. The pull is a clear destabilizing ability. Core to his playstyle. You remove his ability to pluck someone, separate them from the team, create distance, and bring them closer to your team so you can take them out. And what do you have? You know? So it only makes sense that it would be an exemption. An exception and exempted from this new rule. Same thing for all the previous mentions as well.
Everybody's going to have reduced intensity strength all the time. A lot of characters are still never going to build tenacity, right? And then secondly,
it's still true.
There is a cap on tenacity at 50%. So at most, you're still going to get 50% of the value of any of these things if people do go really hard on tenacity.
And to mention, someone in chat was asking about Hadesel. Hadesel is a vortex, and so the strength of that vortex will be reduced, which means if you do build tenacity, it will weaken, which means you will be able to potentially get out of it earlier, but it will take some tenacity, just to be clear. You'll have to build into that. Moving next on, we're going
or beads, just beat it.
And, like, specifically, there's a couple of changes that are coming in here that will affect all game modes, not just the Conquest map. First one really being the increased duration of eligibility for NPC assists from 5 to 10 seconds. This really is just to address some of the things that we changed in Conquest, but will have a knock-on effect elsewhere.
Yeah, basically it's just like if you are in the area of a thing that dies and you participate in it, even if you walk away or aren't hitting it at the very end, you're still going to get some credit for it.
And then next up on the list is Minotaur minions. We're going to be adjusting this, and this will impact the other maps as well. Minotaur minions now spawn at the front of the wave. They do have a reduced aggro range. They increased last hit threshold because a few people were frustrated that it was kind of hard to kill at 10%. And target minions and gods with melee attacks is when it's in melee range. But once it gets towards towers, it will switch to a ranged boulder and toss those at the towers too. This should just help to provide a little bit of pressure and see this be a bit more impactful.
Yeah, I think this also will help.
Dude, he was always all the way at the back. You're like, oh my gosh. Okay, I got the wave. Now I gotta get this big giant freaking minotaur out here, and he's way out there. It's like he always took super long to kill too. Quite annoying.
Gods against range gods, because it can be really hard for melee gods to clear a minotaur against a ranged opponent. I think it should just, I think it will make more sense as you're playing the game to feel like you are clearing the big dude as part of the front wave versus as part of the back wave. Because frequently the Minotaur was like the last one standing, which, I mean, sure, can still be the case. But now I think you're going to see it dies a lot more often as part of the front wave, and then you get to the range or the archers.
So that's it for game modes. We move on to Conquest now.
Yeah, and if you're a melee character up against a ranged, the range could just hover around the Minotaur. And because you were melee and you had to be in melee range, you'd just be losing there. Be like, can you just leave? Go do somewhere else, something else around the map, so I can clear this guy?
Nope.
Instead, you're just there hovering over the freaking Minotaur because I'm melee and you're range. That was always irritating to me. I'm like, which is a tactic, I understand. And I accept it. Doesn't mean I have to like it. I thought that was lame. Like, dude, you're wasting time here. You could be go farming, getting stronger. Instead, you're out here just staring at me, staring at the Minotaur, staring at you. Some lame ass goofy ish, in my opinion. Good morning, brother. We live indeed.
Now, Conquest, I'm going to move down here a little bit, but what you're going to find in Conquest is there's been a lot of adjustment we've made in the jungle in terms of experience gain, where you're getting the experience from, how much experience you're getting, but also the levels that people are going to see throughout the game and feel the impact.
Yeah, this is pretty big. So I think that
That's what she said.
TLDR is that if you are playing better than your opponents, you should be rewarded. You should have an advantage.
Good morning. Hello. What's up, bro? Excuse me. Damn. Burping a lot this morning.
You should likely go on and win the game. That's the way MOBAs work.
Yes.
And none of these changes should affect that, right? What shouldn't happen is the game should not snowball out of control in the first few minutes to the point where this is a very anecdotal thing here, but
example.
People too often are wanting to surrender at minute 2 or 3 of the game, saying game's over.
It's
right?
too far behind, yeah.
Yep.
You should not feel like the game is over at 2 or 3 minutes. You should feel like your team has a chance and we need to keep playing. You shouldn't, like, if the enemy team's better, they're still going to win, right? But this should help everybody feel like the games are more winnable despite bad early. And also, one other thing we're doing here is rewarding players who are playing better more than free team rewards that we're allowing like a single winning lane to snowball the entire map. So we'll talk more about that.
True. I will mention as well that obviously all of these things we did mention.
Good. I like these changes. I'm here for them. All right. Every minute, jungle monsters level up to match the median god level of both teams in the match. Whoever's in the middle. Slaying jungle monsters that are higher level than you grants bonus XP. 10% per level deficit time, max 50%. Damn, sounds like a 5 level. It's a 5 level deficit. Oh my gosh. Stats. Jungle monsters' combat stats are tied to their level. Reward scaling is still tied to time, increasing every 3 minutes. 5% XP rewarded per 3 minutes. 2% gold reward per 3 minutes. Note, Gold Fury and Fire Giant scale a bit differently. They gain 1 level per minute and their rewards scale up with each level. Lane minions. Slaying or assisting lane minions while below the median god level of the enemy team grants you bonus XP. Plus 6% per level deficit. Max at 30% for supports for the most part. Kill rewards. Increase gold bonus for killing higher level players from 20% to 25%. Okay. That's pretty great. It makes the game feel more comebackable when you get a big shutdown, which definitely should be rewarding. You got the raid boss of the enemy team. You should benefit from it. Okay. Dude is gone. Now we can come back. We have a fighting chance. We can take out the team or go do an objective while he's in the bench, right? Then we can catch up. Boom. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. I'm liking it.
On Wednesday, but we didn't see any number. We did say the numbers. We never showed the numbers. I will say since Wednesday, we have made some adjustments as well because of PTS feedback and what we actually saw in there. Our main focus for those that tuned in Wednesday and did play the PTS but didn't see the changes, we're not going to be affecting the starts necessarily of the game. We're looking to try and keep them kind of similar to how they are now in terms of the meta. So we're not expecting mids and junglers to have to rework their entire path to begin with, but I do expect we will see some adjustments to those as always as people start to work out the better strategies. So jungle monsters, every minute jungle monsters level up to match the median god level of both teams in the match. We'll go through median and average real quick because that's always a conversation. Average is like the middle point of everybody. Median is kind of like, let's just say there's a whole spread of numbers, whatever the middle number is.
Yeah. Pick 10. Of the 10, which one's in the middle? And I was gonna look. I was gonna ask, and I forgot to ask. I don't know if this is actually because there's 10. I don't know if it's the 5th or the 6th, right? Because it's not actually a true
I would say
middle.
it's 5th. I don't know.
But I'm not sure.
It's
I'm
5th
not
or
sure.
6th, chat.
Yes.
That's a great idea.
But it's either the 5th or the 6th place god in terms of levels is the level of all the
middle.
the jungle monsters, right?
And now, because they're going to have the medium level, it means that if you are a little bit behind that camp, you will get more XP. Slaying jungle monsters at a higher level than you grants bonus experience. So 10% per level deficit, a cap of 50% on that as well. And obviously, if you are the same level,
so you're going to have to keep this in mind. So say the median level is 15 and you're, 13? The jungle cat monster is going to be 2 levels above you. So they're going to be also level 15. So you're going to get, that's a 2 level deficit. That's 20% bonus XP you're getting.
From this camp, you're not going to be falling behind because you're equal.
Or if you're higher level, you
level.
aren't being penalized. You aren't getting less experience because you're higher level. You're just not getting the lower level. And one thing that's important about this, like, there were a lot of ways that we could have addressed this, right? We could have just said everybody gets invisible background XP and gold scaling or something, right? You still have to do something to take advantage of this, right?
Yeah.
You still need to find monsters and minions to kill. So I'll let you keep going. Sorry.
No worries. And then stats, jungle monsters' combat stats are now tied to their level. Reward scaling is still tied to time, increasing every 3 minutes. So you can see there. Note, Gold Fury and Fire Giant scale a little bit differently. They gain 1 level per minute, and the reward scale up with each level. Moving on, lane minions. Slaying or assisting lane minions will be, while below the median god level of the game, team grants you bonus experience. So again, even with lane minions, you're going to feel a bit of an impact here if you're behind.
Yeah, and this also should help supports stay closer to the level curve of the game.
Yeah.
Will supports, be exactly the same level as the people that are farming? No, they shouldn't be, right? But they should be not like 5 levels behind, frequently because they're they just don't have a chance to get XP. So.
And that god level of the enemy team grants bonus XP, 6% per level deficit, a max of 30%. Kill rewards, we're increasing the gold bonus for killing higher level players from 20% to 25%. Now that does reward you a little bit more in killing those people, obviously in terms of gold. You do get bonuses for killing higher level people in terms of experience. But one of the reasons I think we're shifting the gold here is because we are taking some of the global gold out of the map a little bit of how you earn gold, which we'll get to next.
And this is something that already existed, and I believe it does scale up to the 20 to 25%, right? It's not it's not like somebody's 1 level higher than you.
20% gold.
It's
a scale.
It's a scaling thing.
Gotcha.
So moving on, we're going to go to bonus objective rewards. This is the combat gold that you get for killing a boss or lane objective. This looks like a nerf, but despite the max gold being 5% lower, your team reaches the maximum bonus quicker the further you fall behind.
Yeah, this is something, again, that was already in the game, but we're just making it a little bit stronger, I would say. And again, this is you are killing an objective while behind. So your team is doing something while behind and being rewarded for that. This is not free. This is a hard bonus to get. If you're losing the game, but if you do, then you should be rewarded for it, and it should get your team a little bit closer.
And one of the things we've done there, decrease the max bonus multiplier from 65% to 60%. However, the deficit to trigger that has actually dropped as well from 8,000 gold to 7,000 gold. So if you're 7,000 gold behind now, you will feel this bonus multiplier.
If you're 7,000 gold behind, then you do an objective, you get 60% bonus gold from it.
Nice.
Moonlight phase. Winning the ritual no longer resets base teleporter cooldown. And both teams are awarded 1 team gold for each 2 shards collected during each Moonlight phase. Previously, every 1 shard. So there was a lot of gold coming from the Moonlight phase. And I know a lot of people do enjoy the Moonlight phase, but it was given almost too much for the victory. And also in terms of global gold on the map, as you can imagine, if everybody is picking up 1 shard and getting 1 gold, it seems small, but when you factor that
free
in
gold
the
there
for the game and what goes on there, reducing that down a little bit does make some sense. And
again, global, right? It's like you don't even have to participate in this. So 1 lane can snowball, Moonlight phase and provide a lot of gold for the entire team.
Yeah. And the main thing is teleporters will no longer reset. And funny enough, I'd say half the community knew about this and half the community didn't know that the ritual did reset your place teleporters.
Oh.
You've already got a big victory in mid, but it was kind of exacerbated by also getting these teleport back to lane, so you're not really losing anything for that trade-off.
Again, like
people not
it
watching.
was one of those things that secretly led to a lot of snowballing, because if somebody rotates to do this,
you're in the know.
They get
you took advantage of it.
They win Moonlight Phase.
Yeah.
Then they come back and spend their gold and TP back and be at an advantage, while the other team usually does not have TP. So they back. If they back to spend their gold, then they maybe aren't back as fast. They can't. It was a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a pacing momentum shift thing that allowed further snowballing than was probably needed at this point of the game.
Moving on next is
if you knew, you knew. If you didn't, then you were just affected by it. You were abused, quote unquote. I would argue that that's your fault. I mean, you're choosing to remain ignorant. You know, they have these shows and websites with the patch notes where you can inform yourself. And if you don't want to inform yourself, then that's your fault. You're just going to get taken advantage of.
Is going through. We're going to be nerfing to clear speed and PvP, remove the proc shred debuff, replacing this with tenacity. So rank 1 infamy grants 10 pathfinding, rank 2 infamy grants 10 pathfinding and 5 tenacity, and scales all the way up to infamy 4, which is 15 pathfinding and 15 tenacity.
Yeah, so this used to give you raw movement speed, and it used to give you protection shreds. Protection shreds is basically flat pen. It is incredibly powerful and translates into a ton of free damage. So this was a large source of junglers just being strong to kill everything, right? Movement speed also is very, very powerful in combat. I think that most players probably underestimate how good movement speed in combat is. Pathfinding is our intent to create like a healthier version of that stat, where it's like, it's movement speed out of combat, also still really good, but not as fight warping as in combat move speed is. So now it's like, you'll get faster move speed between camps. You'll get faster move speed as you're rotating through the map, but you're not going to get faster move speed during fights. You're not going to get faster, like, once you gank, you're not going to be able to continue to chase down at like
full speed.
Right. Like, it should be still strong, still good. Like, junglers are still going to be good. Don't get me wrong. But I think that this should be a healthier version of this buff.
Next up is the gold pickup, the little coin pickup in the mid lane. Long term, after talking with the team, we are looking to change this, but at the moment, we're just going to go with a nerf. It was granting 30 global gold. Now it's only going to give 30 gold to whoever picks it up and
good
while interacting.
Yeah, so it's kind of like when you're interacting with the Moonlight Shards, you can move while you're interacting with those. Same with this.
Just to really focus on the global gold. Moving on to towers next. Now this is one of the changes we mentioned, but now grants local experience and reward. Global experience has been removed. You were getting global experience and gold for these towers going down. This is what it's going to be changing to. So tier 1 tower, increase the XP reward from 0 to 100. However, decrease the team XP reward from 100 to 0. And tier 2, very similar. XP reward was 0. Now going to be 200. The team reward, however, is going to drop to 0 in trade.
Hey, let's go.
And again, it does still provide global gold for towers. We think that some objectives having global gold makes sense. There were just too many sources of it. And
too much free-ish.
Next up, now grants
Bringing
local gold and XP and less global gold and XP.
Good.
So once again, shifting it away from the idea that you just get gold and experience for your teammates doing stuff. You should be there active to get a little bit more of this reward, but still feel it if you're not around. We have decreased the base health of this from 3,250 to 3,000. The increased experience is going up to 200. Increased gold reward going up to 250 in the area. Just want to point out, you'll share that in the area around the people that have done that. And decrease the base team XP reward from 50 to 0. Decrease the team gold reward from 100 to 150. So realistically, if you do Moonlight Queen with just 2 people, you will share 125 gold. Once upon a time, you were getting 100 gold as a team for that. So you'll see a little bit more of an advantage to be there for it.
Yeah, and I think it's like, if you rotate the things and are part of them, you should get a reward. If you're not, then maybe not.
You snooze, you lose.
I will say two quick chat things. One chat thing was if you is Moonlight Queen supposed to not like reset its health points when it's leashed? Yes, it is not supposed to reset its health points when it leashes. This is supposed to be, this is an objective that only spawns once. And if you don't kill it before the end of the night, it despawns, right? So we want it to be more of like a high stakes. You know, you're pulling the thing and you're doing the damage to it, and it's not going to regen. Something else, I may have misspoken. I wasn't trying to say that pathfinding does not give in combat movement speed at all, but just that the effect is less powerful than raw movement speed would provide.
66% less powerful
but
in
just at a
combat.
lower rate than full movement speed that you were gaining.
Yeah, and that was the point I was attempting to make.
Pyromancer also going to get the same treatment as Moonlight Queen here. Increased experience reward for local to 150. Increased gold reward to 250 in the area. Decrease the team XP reward and decrease the gold reward as shown. Moving on, also oracles. Longer to clear these now. Might be useful to bring a teammate is the dev note that was put on here, which makes a lot of sense. We've increased the max health of this from 675 to 700.
25 extra health,
health scaling and increased leash radius to match the ground artwork around the oracles.
Yeah, we did make sorry.
Go ahead,
I was going to say we did make some further changes to this objective following some initial feedback. So this will not be quite as tanky the very first time it spawns. So that first time should feel pretty similar. But then after that, it's going to scale much more. So again, this was to prevent messing too much about the very beginning flow of the game. But then it should become harder to scale after that first clear. Which one is Oracles? Oracles is the one that grants vision of the Gold Fury.
Yep. Right next
Oracles,
to mid.
We've already gone over Fire Imps. And now
In
these are the
between
ones that
mid
give the
lane
box that
and
everybody
Gold
knows.
Fury.
Decrease the experience and gold reward from 70 to 60 and decrease the base gold reward from 40 to 25. Still going to be valuable, but obviously just a little bit reduced there. Cyclops rogue camps in the side lanes. We're going to see a decreased gold reward on these from 45 to 26. Scorpion, which is the one that gives you the vision of the enemy once you pick up the buff. Decrease base max health from 1350 to 1150. Decrease the base gold reward from 114 to 96. Next up, Cyclops Warriors in the jungle. The biggest has its health reduced by 2. Put that out. It's 702, it's now 700. Decreased base gold reward from 46 to 40.
2 health.
Smalls have also seen a reduction.
Big nerf here.
They lost 8 health and saw a gold reduction.
The last time we talked about this as well, these also had the XP reward reduced. We decided not to do that through playtesting. So these will actually have the same XP reward as previously, just a little bit less gold.
As we said, the start should be relatively similar to begin with, but expect as the game goes on, people will start to adapt. Back Harpies as well. The Elder Harpy decreased the max health of this to 600, and the Small Harpies decreased max health from 188 to 180. Last but not least, on the Conquest map, the Roaming Harpy, we've decreased the experience gain of that from 50 to 45. So this should realistically keep your early game the same in terms of your jungle clear and your mid-rotation options, because we don't want to try and limit them or railroad it too much, but at the same time, make these adjustments and see how we go. That's it for the actual map stuff, and then we move on to God Balance too. Now, I think when we move on to God and Item Balance, we should just really mention real quick, Ilgun, that obviously we've done all this stuff, map changes alongside this and some hot fixes, so it's not going to be as in detail just yet that maybe some people in the community may expect.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's always hard to know exactly what people are expecting, but a lot of our work for this update was to try and fix some of these core systemic issues, right? Around
bring up your cameras, man.
Around the crit.
You're not even in the way.
Also, to kind of continue to do the sort of targeted things that we started down the path of with the last with our hot fixes, right? It's been
patch of terror.
A less than a week since the hot fix, or the hot fix came out Saturday of last week. So there's always a limit to how much we can get done in a given time.
2-week fashion.
And it's really more 1 week, right? Because we didn't even have quite as long to work on this since the last patch. So I think that we wanted to get through some things that we had wanted to do for the hotfix but could not, address a few other smaller things, and then we want to see how Conquest balance changes and the crit changes shake
things
out.
Play
Those
out.
will impact a lot of God.
When a shopping cart smashed my headlight, we worried we'd have to fight to get paid for such a small claim.
And life would revolve.
Okay. Not to worry, y'all don't need to see that. Can switch screens here real quick. Holy moly. Okay. Beep 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 beep. Maybe I could go take a break real quick. Yeah, be right back.
address a few other smaller things.
Okay, we're back.
And then we want to see...
Watching this on freaking Twitch. Because it's not on YouTube.
Nope.
Whoever's supposed to be in charge of uploading these VODs onto YouTube, you're slacking. So we're here on Twitch.
how Conquest balance changes and the crit changes shake out, because those will impact a lot of gods, and then move from there.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go.
All right.
Apollo aspect, first of all. The one addition for this...
God balance. With the wide scale up update to jungle experience and rewards, as well as adjustments to crit, this patch focuses on more targeted individual god and item balance changes. These address follow-up adjustments that could not be included in the previously deployed hotfix. Apollo aspect can no longer gain stacks of audacity while an empowered So Beautiful is available. Live since the hotfix. So Beautiful, a 1 damage reduced. Oh yeah. And then that one was also there. So his 1 no longer applies the attack speed buff to Apollo. Dang it, that sucks. On her, Enfeeble physical protection reduction changed from 20 to 5 plus 0.75 per level. Excuse me.
So far is can no longer gain stacks of audacity,
And dodgy
empowered So
nerfs.
Beautiful is available. So maximum of 2.
Yes.
Basically there, just to reduce the in-hand frustration. There is also notes here, as you can see, live since the hotfix on 11th of April.
Mm-hmm.
The So Beautiful ability had a damage reduction, and So Beautiful can no longer apply the attack speed buff to Apollo during that aspect too.
Yeah, so we thought that
Excuse me. Damn.
double, like, building up your audacity to get a stack of So Beautiful is a fun part of using Apollo aspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what the thing's about. But the goal should be you build it up, you have to use it, and then you can get another free cast, right? Being able to stack 3 casts and kind of just like sit back, clear the wave with your auto attacks, and then poke. Was
Pew, pew, pew.
not a interactive play pattern. And it was just kind of it just wasn't fun, right?
Yep.
So we want things that are fun to play as and play against. This should still retain the fantasy of the aspect and the identity of what it was trying to do, without letting you stack a 3rd charge of audacity while you have 2 available.
Next up on the list is Anher,
Makes sense.
and we're going to be seeing a passive change here. In
I don't like
the
it.
Physical protection
It makes sense, though.
reduction has been changed. It was a flat 20 from rank 1 all the way through the game. It's now going to be 5 at rank 1 with a scaling of 0.75 per level. So you still hit the 20 at end game once you hit level 20. However, we just want to tone it down in the early game. We know Anher is a big fighter in the early game and potent, and he has got other tools at his disposal that some people may think need to be touched as well.
Sure.
But we didn't want to overdo it this patch with these changes coming through, just to see how this impacts.
Yeah, I think that I know that 20 physical protection reduction, talking about flat pen,
A
this
lot.
is flat pen,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
He gets 20 free flat pen at level 1.
But he's the king of the jungle.
He's the king of the jungle, but he's in lane.
True.
I think that I
That's
know
wild.
that this was leading to a lot of his early game strength. There are still some people who are going to say his Impale has too much damage on it. The cooldown on his ult is too short. I think that it's possible we may see that is true once we play with this further. But I think that this was the most obvious first place to start.
Yeah.
Our goal with nerfing stuff isn't
The
just
biggest
like
pain
nerf it
point.
into the ground so it's not played, because our goal is let's hit the thing that we think is the most obvious suspect, and then if that doesn't work, then we'll continue to work on it.
Makes sense.
Because if he has 20 protection reduction at level 1, that makes his abilities do even more damage just off of this alone. So, and he gets that ish for free. Now, since his free flat pen is significantly reduced at level 1 and throughout the game until you hit 20, when you get that 20 back, now this should rein in down his early damage and early pressure, and his the feel of him being too strong, right? So five physical protection reduction at level 1 is way better than having 20. Having him have 20 the entirety of the game for free. Now he's got to work up to it. That's a great start. I like that change.
Do it in this patch as well when we're seeing a bit of a reduction in terms of the penetration of junglers we're giving as well. So
Ooh, my mouse off the
dodgy.
way.
Next on the list. Now again, we had some changes to it earlier on
But
with the hotfix.
she's only getting nerves, man.
We're going to be reducing the duration of the powwow.
Our girl dodgy, man.
5 seconds. And just to be clear on that, more specifically, this was 5 seconds to 4 seconds for the ability firing window, and 2 seconds to 1 second for the landing window. She was just in the air a very long time, which you can really play around. Obviously, we could look at some of the damage, which we did earlier on with the live hotfix of the 1000 cuts aspect ability and the non-aspect ability too, just to kind of bring them in line. We don't necessarily want to burst all her damage out and reduce all her damage down, but we do want to make it that if she does engage, she can't just sit there for an hour for her teammates to show up to reinitiate again.
Yeah, and I think it's just too long, too much immunity. Yeah, could stay out of the fight for too long. Also, I don't know if you put on here the Dagger of Frenzy, and so she's also in aspect form going to be hit a little bit more by a Dagger of Frenzy change. We're going to talk more in a minute.
Yeah.
So she was hit from another angle, and then also crit going down 15% is going to affect some of her builds.
Next up is Fenrir. Now this is really just a quick reminder that we did already give
Down
a
is
fix to Fenrir on the 11th, which was a brutalized strength scaling reduced from 45% to 40%, and empowered strength scaling reduced from 60 to 55%. Not really seen too many complaints about Fenrir since.
Echo
maybe
made it stand out.
Next on the list is Gilgamesh Aspect. I know
Gilgoosey.
Some of them will definitely notice this, but Winds of Shamash, Sunforged Scimitar, the damage per tick reduced from 50 to 45, 10 to 40. The damage tick scaling reduced from 17.5% to 15%, and the initial damage scaling reduced from 50 to 40%. This is all regarding that firewall that you guys have been experiencing in game and the frustrations that people have been seeing there.
Yeah, I think
Dude, you cross through that thing once and it's like, dude, that damage added up. That pain came fast, came hard, pause, and you felt it. You're like, man, what? I only crossed through this thing like for a half a second or something. Like, crossed through it once, and you're like, ooh, man, that hurts. Reining that in, pretty good. I like it.
Did too much, especially the ticks, and so this should make that feel less like oppressive. I'm just burning for a year once I walk through it.
Like, I
think there's other things that we can do with this aspect to make it better. We have talked about stuff. It's probably not going to be in the next patch or two, just to be transparent. But I think that for right now, this was the right move to get this toned down. But we do have some thoughts about other things that we might want to touch on this aspect as we move forward.
Next on the list is Hercules, but these already went in as part
Hercules,
of the hotfix.
Hercules.
And Earthbreaker have had their cooldown adjusted, so it's going to be, instead of being 13 seconds flat, we're on a scale from 15 down to 13 as you level those abilities.
Yep.
Yeah, they were both 13 seconds flat.
And will be fixed with
it's really funny. Everyone was like, he's still strong. Some people would tell me he's still strong. I'm like, you do know the one isn't actually fixed correctly. It's 15 seconds flat, but maybe we just leave it. I'm not going to do it.
Hercules, one of the 5 lowest win rate gods in Casual Conquest, by the way. It's, again, the difference between a high-level gameplay and what normal players experience can be very different. And I don't like to get too much into that on the show, but I think that he's a good example of, he's still so overpowered and people cannot win with him at some skill levels.
Last two, but next two on here is Carly and Merlin. Both of these did already have these fixes applied to them as part of the 11th of April. But basic attacks for Carly, attacks now process items at 66% efficiency. And Merlin, we already adjusted the Flicker Ice ability cooldown reduction, decreased from 5 seconds to 2 seconds. And Elemental Mastery ultimate cooldown increased from 30 seconds to 20, is now 40 to 20. So late game still is impactful, but early game a bit of a change there.
Good.
Yep. And I will say also, Kali's going to be hit by, some builds for Kali at least will be hit by the crit changes. And then we do have some other changes that will affect these gods going forward.
Naja, next on the list. Naja aspect specifically. Now already we did.
No, not my boy. Not my boy Niza.
Nope.
Not in his aspect.
Nope.
All right, the new addition was the one. Subsequent ring bounce damage reduced from 35% to 20%. Ooh. Dang, man. That's a lot of reduction. Woo. Sheesh. And then the two. Yeah, these were already in the hotfix. Yeah.
Put a hotfix in that addressed the flaming
Jeez
spear
Louise,
damage
man.
and also the Windfire Wheels ultimate
That
only
sucks.
giving percent health damage. We have also added in this patch though the ring toss. Subsequent ring bounce damage has been reduced during aspect from 35% to 20%. This is just to help out the situations where you can get into the 1v1s against the aspect, where it's just doing a ton of damage for free and realistically just needs to be toned down ever so
In
slightly.
solo.
Yeah, it
I
just
suppose. Yeah.
because he gets so much else, because he also gets stacks for his healing off of the bounces, I believe. So you know, it just was a lot. It was a lot
Adds
to
up
it.
Next on the list,
Makes
newer
sense.
aspect. Obviously, been a lot of changes and moving with this. There's been additional change here in a bit.
For 3, damage taken from 200% physical and attack power plus 40% intelligence. It is now scaling. Starts low. It used to be 200 flat at all ranks. Now it scales up 140 to 200% at max rank. And then for physical, and then the attack power, it used to be flat 40 at all ranks. Now it scales up from 28 to 40% intelligence at max rank. And the ult attack damage scaling reduced. Okay, that's already live from the hotfix from 70 to 60%. Okay, yeah. She was just getting a lot early on. You like level 1, boom, you're already doing 200 physical and attack power plus 40% intelligence.
Bit of a change since the last change, but first of all, the hotfix on 411, the fire shards attack damage scaling was reduced from 70 to 60%, but we've now also taken the damage taken from 200% physical damage and attack power plus 40% intelligence to 140 to 200%. So earlier on in the game, it's not going to be as impactful, but we'll still reach that late game stage.
Yeah, you're going to have to rank it up to actually get any benefits out of it. Keep in mind, she will also be hit by the 15% critical strike nerf in aspect form because she's building crit most often. And so it's early, you know, until you have leveled up your 3, you're not going to do as much with your 3, and you're going to deal 15% less damage overall.
Yep.
Yep.
Next up, Newt. Astral Flux bonus magic damage per stack reduced from 5% to 2.5%. This is part of Newt's passive. For those that really don't know what Astral Flux means, but we're just going to be reducing the amount of magical damage per stack you're getting from this. It was a little bit too potent at the moment, so we just want to
I don't even really play her.
a little bit more.
Nope. Yeah. And Chad is also saying the Kali change is just on the aspect. Yes, that was just on the aspect. I think we just didn't write that on the notes here.
It is not saying that. You know what? I'll do it live with chat. Here you go. Look at that.
Boom.
There you go.
Yeah.
Done.
Sorry, chat.
That's okay. It's finished now. Odin, we already did this, but this is already in live as well. But Gunga's Might had an early refire cooldown reduction decrease. It was 40%. It's now going to be 20%. And then next up is Pele aspect. As you can see, Pele's.
All right, she got a lot added to her.
Frustrations with it. People didn't feel we did enough, but that was never the intention to do just that. There was additional follow-ups, and here they are. Magma Rush enhanced base damage from 30 to 90 will now be 20 to 80. Magma Rush enhanced scaling
across the
reduced
board.
from 15% to 10%. Heal scaling reduced from 1.25% of health and items to 1.15% of health from items. And enhanced heal scaling reduced from 2.5% of health from items to 2.25% of health from items. Real quick note on this. We do want the aspect to be a little bit tankier and a little bit more survivable, but it was just too potent, and I think that's what the community felt.
Yes. And I think that, like...
And she was doing a lot of damage, too.
It's finding the right place to where it still maintains the... This is the survivable aspect, but it does an appropriate amount of survivability and appropriate amount of damage, right? We're probably going to be more likely to continue to hit the amount of damage if this is not enough, but we will see, you know, what the feedback is on it.
How it goes with that. And that is it we have for gods for this patch. As we said, a lot of map changes going into with the crit changes and a few other adjustments which we'll go through in the items.
Okay, that's all for God balance.
Fixes, you'll see some knock-on effects here. So moving on to items real quick. First of all, Pendulum Blade PTS. This was already there for you for both these changes. But Pendulum Blade, the cost increase has gone from
more expensive
to 2750, and strength reduced from 45 to 35. This is a good first item that we've seen a lot of potential bruises, you know, bullies with the cooldowns really coming into play. And we could have looked at the passive a little bit, but we were a little bit worried that that would really take away the identity of what this item's bringing.
Yeah, I think both of these items, right? Like
the boomerang.
We wanted them to continue to do the thing that you buy them to do, but not also give you other benefits. And I think that Pendulum Blade at least is like, when you get it as your first item, as a lot of people are doing, it's a little bit more game changing. So the idea is that, like, if we take a little strength off of it, if we increase the cost, people are going to be slightly less likely to buy it as their first item. It should have a healthier place in the builds.
And as Kilgoon mentioned there, Staff of Mirrodin, good to be seeing similar change.
Oh, same thing, yeah.
Gold cost going up, 150 gold, and intelligence reduced by 10. Additionally, just to mention as well,
Shield
these
Splitter.
things are already
Yep.
in the game based off the 11th of April hotfix. So Shield Splitter did see a reduction in its protections, and the shield removed has been increased from 65% to 70%. Wormskin Hide
Making it a
had an
better
adjustment to
anti-shield
just
item.
decrease the strength, increase the health, and it decreased the dampening effect in the early game. Bumba's Hammer hit basically this attack cooldown reduction decreased from 1 second to 0.66. And Bumba's Cudgel also saw the cooldown reduction decrease from 0.75 to 0.33.
Zero.
And we also fixed
Englishman.
Bumba's Golden Dagger and Bumba's Spear,
Correct, earlier on,
and Golden Blade dealing damage, unintended additional damage on multi-target hits.
Now, these are classes bug fixes on the notes, but we just want to point out
Tasty.
these
Hydrate
are
up.
something Kilgoon was leading
Forget to
to.
drink
But first of
water.
all, I guess Dagger of Friends is the middle one. Stacks are now expended by abilities that benefit from the attack speed, such as Darji's Aspect 2 and Guan Yu.
Bug fixes. Hasten Fatalis now properly respects melee versus range for gods that switch attack type via aspect. Kearney, Milf, Kali, Gebster, and gods that change their attack type via ability. Athena and Tsukuyomi. Okay, that's good. Dagger of Frenzy stacks are now expended by abilities that benefit from the attack. Sylvanas 3 no longer procs Resolute Mantle and Spirit Robe on Sylvanas. So whenever he would 3, he would heal himself?
3 rather than getting the double dip. Fatalis now properly respects melee versus ranged for gods that switch attack type via aspects.
I didn't even notice that, man.
Morgan Le Fay, Carly, Geb are some really good examples of that. And gods that change their attack type from their via ability, like Athena and Tsukuyomi.
Yeah.
So we should see a bit of a difference there. And last but not least, Sylvanas 3 no longer procs Resolute Mantle and Spirit Robe on Sylvanas, so he wasn't getting free stacks off that.
Yeah.
3 healing.
I think one thing that's probably worth mentioning
From using
is
his 3.
the most obvious omission from the list, right, is...
I don't know what that'll pop up. I guess I got a pop notification. We'll find out.
Hey, we're back. Let's
The
go.
most obvious omission from the list is the
Ratatoskr? Yeah.
Right. And Ratatoskr, we understand that base Ratatoskr's acorns are underwhelming and are contributing to not a great performance for the god.
Sure.
What we are seeing is like...
All right, you guys, you're about to watch 180 seconds of ads. Don't forget
Already?
you can use your Prime sub to
gosh.
skip through them.
Already been an hour. Holy moly. 2-minute warning, Twitchers. Feel free to support the channel by sticking around and watching the ads. If you don't want to watch the ads, I encourage you to Prime up or sub up. If you decide to dip out, it is what it is. I'll see you when I see you. I understand.
Base Ratatoskr are contributing to not a great, performance
Excuse
for
me.
the god.
Sure.
What we are seeing is like Aspect Ratatoskr is doing pretty well. Base Ratatoskr,
Best one.
not
Fun.
buying acorns is
More
doing
fun.
okay, right? And we kind of want to take the time to more thoroughly address Ratatoskr. It was more than we could get done for this update. Rather than band-aid in some numbers changes in the short term, we just need a little bit more time to take a more holistic look at how Ratatoskr is working and what we want to do to address him. And so apologies for people that were waiting for a Ratatoskr thing, but we're not able to get that into this update with everything else.
But yeah, we're aware rat base level isn't doing great, and we are going to look into it for sure. We are actively looking into it, I guess is the words I should say. We just don't have anything we want to throw in the game right now. without it feeling kind of forced and not feeling great for him. Just by throwing, I don't know, I'm going to say it's 100 strength on these Acorns is not going to make him great. We'd rather just look at the Acorns again and work from the ground up a little bit.
Yeah.
So Rat will take a little bit longer. And then Gilgamesh aspect, similar sort of thing there. We are going to investigate Gilgamesh aspect a little bit. But that's kind of what we have.
All right, yeah, that makes sense.
Minutes. I didn't realize it took that long.
Yeah, there's a lot.
You want to solve the main root issue, right? You don't want to keep slapping on band-aids without resolving the main issue.
Nope.
So it's a great call. I like it. Go back to the drawing board. The real issue here is the Acorns and what they're doing, changing the rest of his kit. People are probably complaining, more than likely it's not doing damage. So they probably want more damage. Or that it's not fun for the other two Acorns, I would say. Because the red Acorn, the dash one, I think that one's fun. I like that one. Get in. Dash like 3 times. Get in, do some damage, wreak havoc, and get out. The two, the one where you throw out the Acorns around you in a circle and then they follow you. I mean, I was like very underwhelmed. I didn't really like that part too much.
Nope.
And then the third one was that you have you lose the stun, which was awful. You lose the stun, and then they have a little like detonating bomb, so to speak, above them that really probably didn't do that much damage either. So out of the 3 nuts, pause, only one felt great, pause. The other 2 were just underwhelming, pause. So it's the core issue is the nuts, pause, and the interactivity with his kit as a whole, right? Slapping on more damage is not going to fix the issue.
Nope.
It's still going to be there. So this is a great call from them. Even if it takes a little longer, I can accept that. You know, I accept delayed gratification. I'm not all about instant gratification.
Nope.
I need it now. I need it now. No, man. I understand things need to go at a certain pace. And it's going to be a lot more rewarding and much more impactful when the change is revealed, right? Like, oh my gosh, this is so much better. I'm glad they actually went back to the drawing board, did what they did, and made these actual changes. His kit feels way better. Damage feels great. And he's fun all around. This is the Rat we should have gotten initially. You know, that's what I'm waiting for. That's what is a potential future that I'm predicting and foreseeing here. Whether it happens or not, who knows? Time will tell, right? I'm just prepping myself. Like, all right, go ahead, take your time. I'm going to sit back, keep my mouth shut, observe, continue moving forward. And then when they come back with information and an update and they're ready to reveal it and push it out, like, okay, now I can provide some feedback. I won't just be talking ish and swallowing spit the entire time.
Nope.
Give them time to do what they want to do. Have them work their magic. And then once their product is actually released, you're like, oh, then you can go ahead and comment and criticize them. Until then, like, all right, they're going to take a little bit longer. Gotcha, man. I understand. Ishtar is indeed coming. So, hello, distraction here. Ishtar's right here. Meanwhile, that's happening. They're working on Ratatasker in the background for a future update. And bam. It's going to take off. I'm just expecting the best here.
There is a lot in this patch, right? Like, I mean, this is a very sweeping change
Mm-hmm.
to the balance of the entire game. And
Almost a 180,
it
if not.
we are very interested to see how players feel about it. I think that it goes to address a lot of the concerns that we have been hearing, and there's a lot of other stuff that we want to get to, right? Like, we want to look more at base stats. We want to look more at, I have a long list of things we want to look at, right? But again, because we've had 2 weeks, we do things as much as we can get done for this update, and then we do as much as we can get done for the next update, right? We work kind of like, if you are an IT person, we work kind of like in sprints or Scrum, or right, where it's like, what are the most pressing issues that we do during this sprint? We do those, and then let's go to the next sprint. What are the most pressing things we do? We can do those, right? So it's a different strategy than some other game developers use because we move so quickly, and our goal is always like, let's address the most important things and then keep going.
Sorry for just nodding my head along as I'm listening to you. I'm just taking notes from chat. There's a couple of bugs that have come in. The one we got in Naja, Morrigan Ends Ultimate, I've got down, and also one thing that Mantle of Discord still has 28 physical protections and 10 magical protections in tier 2, but then builds into 20 tenacity and 15 dampening and 15 CDR. The note is what happened to those stats. We are going to look at the tier 2 items of those eventually and get back to them. Obviously, the introduction of dampening tenacity, they were thrown on tier 3s intentionally. However, we do need to look at how they get built up.
Yep. There is somebody said, I can't find the exact post now.
Good point out there.
Huge buff patch win. Nerfs just make the game boring. So the point of feedback that we've gotten right now consistently is that people are doing too much damage.
Yes.
The kill is too low.
They have been since the start of King Smite 2. It's like, oh my, I can't live.
Nope.
It's like level 1 ability. Almost all my health is gone. Ability 2, dead. How is that fun, man? Golly, man. That's not fun at all.
Nope.
Not playable.
Right.
Out of here.
Certain
Nerfs make the game boring.
Certain roles and characters are
F
running
you,
the map,
ninja.
they're running rampant, right? And that there are like core kind of pacing issues with them, right? The correct way to approach that.
Yeah, they were all running around wild over here like Hulkamania, brother. You need to rein them in. It was just lawlessness and chaos out here, man. We need some actual law and order here.
Is to get the game state into a healthier spot, I
Mm-hmm.
believe, and then to bring up any gods that are below, they're underperforming at that healthy spot.
Mm-hmm.
If we just started buffing stuff at the same time that we're nerfing stuff,
Yep.
then it's a lot harder to get to the level where the game feels good,
Mm-hmm.
because we nerf this and then it's like, oh well, the new flavor of the week is now running the queues, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to get to where it's like, if we take all the top things down to a level where everybody's happy and we address some of the core issues, then we can move forward from there.
Yep.
That's the dream.
Just slapping on band-aids, man. You can't be slapping on band-aids. It is a plant day, brother. Yep. Dope Fiend Day. For all those of you that partake.
We have, but I also know that, like you were saying, as soon as we nerf some of the top ones, they're seen as dead, and then we move on to the next tier and the next tier, and it will always be a revolving door in that sense of something feeling too strong.
Yeah.
It's never our intention to just constantly nerf the top. We do want to buff up the bottom, but some of the things at the bottom, chat, we mentioned Hercules is kind of low. Yamoja, some of the devs really do want to give Yamoja some love, because at a casual level, people are not doing great, but I swear if I came on the show and we talked about Yamoja buffs, there'd be a lot of what are we doing? So we do have to take some of that into account.
Even in ranked, she's like one of the lowest win rate gods of the game, because it's only the high level of ranked that Yamoja is dominant on.
Yep.
But because high level ranked makes up so much of the conversation, because that's what streamers are playing, that's what the videos are on, that's what a lot of the vocal people in the community are playing, right?
Yeah.
And that's what esports is that same kind of world. That shapes a lot of the discussion. When we also do have to be concerned about like, what is everyone's experience playing the game, and not just the top 2%.
Definitely.
Yep. Those are the outliers, not the median or the average.
Again, we're not buffing Yamoja. I'm just saying
No.
that is an example of the things that we are dealing with.
As soon as you mentioned Yamoja, like, wait, Yamoja buffs?
You mentioned Yamoja. I didn't say Yamoja. Did you start with it?
I did. You just responded to that, though. And I said, listen, people want to buff your emoji, but we're not going to do it because you guys will be upset.
Yeah.
Besides, when you nerf things, you have to wait and see where the cookies fall, right?
For sure.
If you nerf and buff at the same time while making all these changes, it's just gonna be mud in the water. You're like, where did the issue arise from to begin with? You're just gonna be running around like headless chickens trying to look for the cause of the new issues, right? And good luck with that. So again, patience. Be patient. Let this change happen. See what things, how things turn out, where they go, and then come back to the drawing board. Like, okay, yep, this, that. We can improve here. We can nerf there. Buff this. Buff that. You just do everything at once, you're just gonna get a whole pile of ish. In my opinion, humbly. You gotta be patient, chat. You got to be patient. Patience reward.
Dagger of Frenzy from the game. It's not getting removed, but it has been adjusted as
Yes.
part of the notes. So you will see, like, it's not going to be as potent as you may feel.
Yeah, I think that we like the idea of Dagger of Frenzy as a hunter, you know, or a ability, or excuse me, an auto attack focused active item, right? Because I think that there's a lot of fun active items for other types of characters, but it's harder to come up with interesting active items for attackers.
Yeah.
And I think that it's an interesting approach to that feels good to use. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to, like, I get a period of faster auto attacks, right? It's more just that is having some other impacts that are unintended on the game right now.
I always liked it when it came out. Like, this item is amazing.
Balance thing this patch. I think the thing to mention on that is, like, go on.
I think that chat also, like, maybe overinterpreted. Like, I was like, we have a balanced team of people that meet and talk about balance, and Hindu is part of that balanced team. Hindu is not like, you know, I am the grand poobah of all things balance, right?
Fine.
You know?
That's how they're going to react, and I know my messages have already started up with that. To be clear, I've always kind of been around the balance area of the game at a very high level.
Esports was always a part of that, right?
Yeah, we were from the early days of Smite 1, and we would always give our feedback of, like, what we're seeing at the top end. It doesn't necessarily mean what we see is going to go in, but I'm generally here to listen to what you all say. And if you check out the Twitch chats and the streams, I'm always hanging around, listening to the conversation and trying to keep my finger on the pulse to an extent of what your reactions are. Examples of stuff that I've helped with, just to give you an idea of it, and these are all going to be wins because I'm not stupid, but game aspect changes was definitely influential with me. Examples of stuff that I've helped with, just to give you an idea of it, and these are all going to be wins because I'm not stupid. But
yeah, my guy Hindu man, that's right. Dab me up, Hindu man. Dab me up, my brother. Hell yeah. Why tell them the L's? Why give them ammo when you know they're just player haters? You know? Big yourself up right here. There you go. Another round of applause. That's how you do it, my friend. That's how you do it. Yeah. I started this ish. This is the mother effing thanks I get. You will acknowledge me. That's right. No player hating around here, man. Oops, wrong buttons. Damn it, froze. Soundboard. You're slacking today. You're slacking. Making me look bad. Oh my gosh. As I'm big up and you're about to hear a lot of ish happen.
Acknowledge me.
There it goes. All those are useless now. The moment passed. Sorry about that, Hindu man. My soundboard ruined part of your moment. You understand, though. How the game goes sometimes.
Geb aspect changes was definitely influential with me, and Najar aspect were the two that I really went on. It's almost like I played those myself a lot and went, these are kind of potent. But stuff like that, and then obviously my goal is always to try and listen to what you guys are saying and translate that to the devs, because sometimes you're not great as a community at saying, what the issue really is. Sometimes you're like, he's just OP, and then you find out it's literally one item that's really stimming a character, or they're passive or something like that. So I'll continue to try and do that.
You're not clear with your criticisms or complaints.
Nope.
You just say, this is underwhelming. How? Well, it just is. This is OP. Okay, how? It just is. You have to be clear and concise with your criticisms and complaints and your critiques, you know? Give them something to work with. Help them help you resolve your issue with this is lame or this is OP. Figure out what the pain points are. Write them down. Like, okay, break it down. This item or this god or this playstyle has this adverse or positive effect. All right, break it down. What specifically about it? Is it an item? Is it the ability itself? Continue breaking it down. Then you can provide the critique, the complaint, the criticism with clear evidence. At least show them your method of how you got to your answer. Don't just say, oh, this is lame or this is OP and leave it at that.
Nope.
You're just leaving them hanging there. They're like, dap me up. And you're just like,
Nope.
come on now. You got to come together to resolve the issues here. They can't read your minds.
Nope.
They're not God.
Nope.
They're not Charles Xavier.
Nope.
You know, they're humans. They have their own lives. They got things they got to do aside from this. So if you just come out here sideways with some BS half-baked answer and just complain and play a hating for the most part, guess what? You can't get help.
Nope.
You just can't. So be clear, be concise, and give them that clarity that they need in order to help you, help them. And then the whole ecosystem will flourish. Fairly simple, although a tough concept for others to understand, much less accept. And then adapt and apply to their lives. Let's continue.
I guess I'm just going to get more blame now, and that's fine. You know, I've been here long enough. It's fine. But yeah, it's just a weird world for me now on these shows where we do the balance, because it was always me go, so why are we doing this, devs? And it's like, I now have to answer it as well to an extent.
Yeah, you could still just be the asker.
No, because people, I can't even get upset on these shows anymore, because people are like, oh, he's just too sarcastic. And I'm like, okay. Because I'd be like,
You'd be like, I
"Shut
didn't
up,
want to do
chat."
this, but they did. You know. No.
If you say I could do that, I'm going to do that every chat. Like, chat, this was not a Hindu endorsed. Hindu endorsed section on the patch notes would be.
Hey, let's go. That'd be funny.
Let's see.
How does tenacity work with knockups? I've seen this one come up a lot. I know we've done a really good job of explaining how tenacity really does impact some of those things, so it does make sense.
Yeah, I am not able to give you the world's best explanation.
And I am not on the top of it too, but I do believe it's going to be like the height of the knockup will be impacted, which reduces it overall.
Yeah, I am not. I did not do the technical implementation.
I
so
should
I'm
ask.
Not, yes,
I should
I don't
ask.
have the full description.
And the
Yeah.
fact we don't have it here is a bit frustrating for the community, so I'm sorry to the community for that.
Excellent question, though.
I will say
by the way.
most knockups go a shorter distance if they move, right? Like knockbacks.
A good example is the Sobek bug that people saw of the flip.
Yeah, yeah.
Of the distance of it. Well, it's basically just going to be a distance thing of like a backers flop should be up and down a little bit quicker.
Yeah, I do. So I think probably the word, my guess, from what I've experienced in playtesting, and this is not the 100% thing because I did not do the implementation, so I don't know the exact 100% details of how it works, right?
Intricate
but like
working.
The duration stuff is talking more about like a vortices, right?
Yeah.
Or a slow, right? But I think a knockup probably does have its duration reduced.
I would expect it would, because
Yes.
obviously what are you going to do in the interim? If it's going up and down quicker, you're going to be faster. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What
Would we
else?
consider adding back bracket highlighting? Yes, this is actually something that's on our list.
It was optional, right? It wasn't always on.
It was optional in Smite 1.
What is that?
It was on for some players by default, depending on what time you joined. It's something we've experimented with both ways. It can be misleading for new players because new players can believe that they are locked onto a target, and if they click the button, it will hit, and they don't understand that there are travel times for projectiles, and there are like pre-fire times for their AoEs and whatnot. So it's one of the reasons like we're torn on whether or not it's the right thing for like brand new players because it can be misleading. But we know there are hardcore players who like it, so it is one thing that we do want to bring back.
Bracket highlighting.
I see
First
a
time I'm
person
hearing of
about
this.
the adaptive stats of Guan Yu and Osiris. I did make a note on the Guan, obviously, Osiris too. They are going to look at the adaptive stats. Eventually, we are trying to get around to that for some of the other ones. You've already kind of seen it in Dagger of Frenzy and stuff like that. Sorry, not Dagger of Frenzy, Fatalis effects.
Will local tower on XP be divided between the players? Yes, it will be.
Yeah. If there's 2 or 3 players around it, you'll be sharing it 2 ways or 3 ways. If there's just you there, you'll be getting all solo. You greedy Apollo split pusher that's not got 3 so beautifuls. Still get your ult though.
Yep.
Hey, greed is good.
Do you think the NBA will or should
I knew
remove
you were
the
going to answer
68
that one.
games
I
played
saw
rule?
it and I was like, NBA, he's going to say it. Yeah. Still get your ult though,
Yep.
and you'll run away.
Do you think the NBA will or should
I knew you were
remove
going to
the
answer
68
that one.
games
I
played
saw
rule?
it and I was like, NBA, he's going to say it. No, there's a problem.
I think it's
did a
a
lot today.
reasonable rule to get people to play in the games to qualify for end of season rewards. But I think that they're also just going to make exceptions a lot of the time. Like something like Luca is going to still be eligible even though he didn't. So I don't know. It's like it's a rule, but it's not a rule. I think it's mainly them trying to deal with people that are taking too many games off and not being on TV often enough. You know.
Do you all overall dislike having characters perform poorly at low levels? I personally think high skill characters pose a goal for a player to reach. I believe they serve as an important role in character pool for a game. I think that's a good question because from my point of view, I think there's a level to it of like at a casual level of getting into the game, can you play okay, like at a fair level that's not going to be detrimental to your team, let alone yourself during those games? However, is there a skill cap difference at the highest level of how you utilize those abilities, the mechanics of the character together?
Yep.
And why is it that the casual player can't do it as well as a high level player? And I think there's a balance point there that always needs to be looked at. If it's something like a Yamoja, for example, which really the high level players really will utilize the ult a lot more effectively and work a little bit more on coordination rather than individual, I think that some of that comes into play.
I think that like there is a difference between low level players being worse at a god, which you would expect with every god, right?
Sure.
And being much worse with some gods is fine, right? Versus like the majority of the player base is really bad with the god, right? And I think that those are the harder situations to deal with. You know, it's one of the reasons why we reworked Aladdin, right?
Yeah.
Like Aladdin was a very good poster child of a god who was perma pick banned in ranked and pros, and like a 30% win rate in all casuals, right?
Yeah.
And
so bad.
in those cases, that is something that really concerns us, right? Because it's like the god is effectively not balanceable at a wide enough skill range. If Aladdin had a 30% win rate among players in their first 30 games, sure, right? That's probably okay. If he has a 30% win rate among like players between level, like account level 100 or 30 and 200, like no, that's too much. 30 and 80 or something, right? That's a problem, right? Because like those people have played the game a lot. They should understand how things work, and they shouldn't be like only winning 30% of their games on that god.
With Aladdin.
I will humor your attempts to get my attention with the NBA Sports intro. Can we make crit show up larger on the screen like it was in Smite 1? It was more satisfying. I think there are... We kind of, but no. The TLDR is that like we actually did a pass somewhat recently to reduce the number of text sizes in the UI.
Performance issues.
Because the way that UE5 handles UI text, the more like sizes we had to render the text at, the more the UI was taking up players' memory, like a substantial amount, and reducing performance. So for
maybe
performance
that's why I have some
and
issues.
memory like sake, we made all the text closer in size than it was, I don't know, last year, let's say. Could we potentially do more? Maybe, but again, it's like there's always the trade-off of performance versus feel, especially on UI things.
I see loads of people bringing up Gem of Isolation again. Like, I guess we could look at Gem of Isolation, but really, being real with you, when Gem of Isolation is meta, everyone gets really frustrated with it, like straight away, just to be clear.
Okay. Go ahead and I'll do this. I will save you all and spare you all the ad watching. Whoa, this guy's walking on air. Is he Jesus? Whoa, who's swimming in air? Gramps is just chilling in the mid. All these people are just chilling in midair. You know, let me show y'all. Oh, it's already gone. Dang it. Okay. Go ahead and chill out some more. Some pirates. Butterfingers. Walk the plank. Okay, he just went out. Crazy. This might be funny. Might just show y'all. Damn it, already happened. Dang it. Behind the sweat. All right. Okay, deodorant ad. FIFA in degree. Oh yeah, World Cup is coming here soon. All right. All right, we're in ad 5 of 7. Oh, an actress. Okay. All right, 6 of 7.
Do with some love, I'd agree. Being real with you, when Gem of Isolation is meta, everyone gets really frustrated with it, like straight away.
Yes, because it's slow. You're like constantly slowed, and it's like, oh my god. Now I have to buy this, one of the most expensive items in the game, just to not be slowed.
Just to be clear, but I guess it could do with some love. I'd agree. It's just random that one person Gem of Isolation, everyone else is like, Gem of Isolation, yeah.
Fun item, though.
Edgewing, I keep seeing that message. I'm not going to respond to it. There was just a person that was playing in Weekend's PTS games complaining about, oh, they've nerfed fire stance on Merlin. And I'm like, no, we didn't. And he's like, oh, well, I've not played Merlin in 3 months, is his exact quote. And I'm like, why are we saying...
Wow. That's wow. Y'all do that, chat? Oh, y'all crazy, man. Y'all are crazy. You're only proving me right on my stances and positions. Holy moly. You just gotta
know your role and shut your mouth.
Thank you, Rock. Thank you, The Rock. Let them know. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Holy moly. Damn. Just some wise words here. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything.
Nope.
Stay silent. It's not difficult at all.
You know, I think like after we addressed the stuff we addressed with Merlin, he seems like he's in a lot better of a place.
Still viable.
Yeah, the free combat blink.
I haven't seen cries for further Merlin nerfs.
Just yet.
Yeah, but
It's not been long enough yet,
Yes.
Kilgoon. You
Yes.
What's some tentative plans for TTK? I think at this very moment, we're going to see how the map plays out, first of all, with the changes there, before we make any changes in terms of what we're looking at in terms of time to kill. It really comes down to how the game is leveling, when people are getting item spikes online, how the map is being played out, and how it feels. Are we seeing 100 to 100 kills in 25 minutes of the game? You know, that would give us a good understanding that there's still too much damage going on in the game. But we do need to just see how the conquest map plays out before we investigate that. So I don't want to propose we're going to do things that may change.
Yeah, I think that so crit damage is going down, so that will reduce time to kill in some cases,
yeah.
right? And then the way that the map is going to play is also just going to have an impact on that, with teams being a little bit closer in levels, junglers not being able to get quite so far ahead.
Oppressive.
And we'll see kind of how things play out in this update. But we do have some things that we've been talking about. It's just, we need to see how things go. Whenever we do a big change like this, it's there's an element of, we have expectations for how we think things are going to play out, and we have plans based on those expectations.
And they can change.
But it really comes down to, how do people actually play with it, and how,
you have to wait and see.
impact their games.
I will say as well, the community's got a really good
Sit
finger
back,
in the
let it
pulse 'cause
play
you're
out.
playing the game actively of how you feel. But sometimes we have had a knee-jerk reaction at times where we've overcorrected something that has just exacerbated another issue, rather than just taking a second to reflect. And I think that's part of the speed of doing this. So often that we're trying to react very quickly, but sometimes we have a knock-on effect. So just taking a beat will allow us to hopefully make better decisions in terms of the direction.
Just gotta play it out, let it play out. Be
What are the
patient.
bottom 5 played gods in Conquest right now? I might be able to find that real quick. Let's see.
I feel like I could probably guess some. I want to say this would be terrible if I get more.
All right, let me find the list.
Bottom played gods.
Do you want ranked or do you want casual?
Casual.
Casual Conquest. Okay. Let's see if I can actually see this. That's aspect, play rate, imbalances, play rate. Oops. For casual Conquest. This isn't the best view. I can give you. Yeah, I can give you I'm missing one. I'm just missing a label on it because I'm looking at a visual, not a.
Gotcha, yeah.
But I can give you the bottom 5 or 6 ballpark.
Okay.
Do you want to guess, or do you want me just to?
Izanami.
Izanami is not. Izanami is always incredibly popular.
I thought
People
she
don't
would be.
believe
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
but
I knew she was, but I was like, maybe
people
she's
love
not.
Izanami.
How's Sol doing right now? I'm not seeing much Sol.
She's not in the bottom 5. I'll tell you that. Yeah, no, she's way over to the right. No,
Artemis?
she's very highly played actually. Again, people play characters that look cool.
Sure, it's because you don't see him on stream, or
Yeah.
you don't see him in your ranked games. It doesn't necessarily mean they're not getting.
Check us,
played.
Amaterasu. Amaterasu is number 4 least played.
Okay. Capri. People are saying Capri.
Not
I don't
Capri.
think Capri.
No, not the bug.
I'm just gonna read it because we're
Go for it. Go for it.
okay. Hun.
Excuse me, I had to sneeze there.
Thoughts?
Monkey?
Amaterasu, Uller, Aladdin, and
What?
set look like the
What?
bottom 5. For
So,
my
chat,
list.
should we buff all those gods?
Dang. All right, not Aladdin.
Nope.
Amaterasu. I think it's a skill issue with Amaterasu. I've seen some Amaterasu just dominate the game. And when they're there, oh my gosh, their presence is felt. Can never die. Can't die. It's like, man, holy moly. I'm unfortunately not one of those.
Nope.
At least not all the time, not consistently.
Nope.
It's like a one-off. If I have an excellent game with Amaterasu, I'm like, damn, is that really me, or is it that everyone else is just not all that great? No. It's one of those. Hoon Bots, man. Stun Bats, man, he was really popular when his aspect dropped. Like, oh my gosh. And then Ice is Cold. He was a great support meta. followed by who else was it? Uller? I see a Uller almost like every other game. How is that dude all the way at the bottom? No way, man. That's wild.
Yeah,
Don't-
that's how we should do it, right?
Don't buff any of them.
Yeah,
No.
those are the,
Nope.
from what I can
I
see,
don't know about that one.
those
Ice
are
is
the
cold,
bottom.
yeah, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be biased here. You can buff Ice is cold, right? You can buff her. Maybe Ama if I was actually great with her. So I'll just say no to the rest of them.
And look, all OP stuff, bar Amaterasu. Yeah, but people don't play it. Like, again, it affects high-level games a lot because people understand the meta.
Yeah.
They pick the gods that are perceived strong, and they are strong. Don't get me wrong.
This,
right?
this perceived, but also the meta changes kind of dictate what gods come in and out of the meta too. For example, a Hornbat is really solid, but he's very teamfight focused, big fear, no evil. I think some of that is just going to see him come in and out of play based off the compositions, like Gilgoon was saying. We see more Gold Fury fights that are AoE team fights.
Yeah.
We'll see more impact.
Yep. Kellen says we should buff Izanami.
Okay.
See what we can do about that.
I just feel like that's going to be my DMs from now on.
Nope.
Buff this, buff this. I'm like, I'll do it all. I'll do it all. Throw it all in there. Have you thought of adding a roaming big objective like a kaiju fight? We've definitely had stuff like that in Smite 1 before in terms of the big, like the Titan fights, for example, and other things like trebuchets.
yeah.
I think it's completely off the table, but I do think the devs would need to look at specifically like how that's going to interact with the map and what the idea behind it is.
Yeah, and people like to know, like, you'd like to be able to
We have Roman
learn,
Naga, too.
I go to a place to do a thing, right? And I think that, like, the Titan fight was like, go to mid lane, right? It's like, okay, cool. I go to Fire Giant Pit for this thing, right? If it's like, I need to look for this thing in the moment, it's a little bit, it can lead to some weird feeling situations for players. Yeah, Queen Naga used to roam, and I think players didn't really like it, you know?
Part of it was like people were like, well, it's on the left-hand side of the map. I can't rotate over there. I won't be there for that fight. So it's kind of a skirmishy. I guess it does give you a bit more of a skirmishy idea. Yeah. Okay. It's 1:59. So I guess, you know, it is time for
One more question.
Which is generally two.
One more question.
But reminders, this weekend we've got Smite Prime on Saturday. Make sure you check that out. AGL is tonight. The Albion Giants League will be on Smite Game 2 at 7 o'clock. And you've also got the Olympus Smite League, which will be having their qualifiers to their final playoffs bracket for the Draft Championship too. Additionally, Ishtar will be out on Tuesday, along with all the notes that we just
Tomorrow.
today. Very excited
tomorrow.
to see all this come into play. And again, final thing.
Get excited.
PTS is still live all over the weekend. You can jump on and play to PTS and see these changes in action before it all goes live on Tuesday. I hate saying Tuesday, by the way, just because of all you Yanks complaining and making fun of it the whole time.
You
Every
Yankees.
time I have to just like, I overthink it every time.
It's one of those words that is pronounced very differently between American and British English.
It's also Northern English and Southern English as well. It's
Yeah.
pronounced differently because we're lazy. Like we don't say Thursday, we don't use TH, we say F. Thursday.
Thursday.
We're
Okay.
lazy.
Yeah.
You know, we're just lazy speech. We don't need it.
Thursday.
But Tuesday's the one that always sticks out because chew.
Well, it's like, I mean,
Yep.
you know,
Tuesday.
some of the like
Q.
Georgia accent also is a little bit of the,
Yeah.
you know, the not necessarily fully pronouncing every letter, right? Like,
Correct.
'cause
Can.
well, yeah, it's not Atlanta, right? It's Atlanta. You know, it's like there's a lot of that kind of stuff.
Atlanta.
Anyway,
We
Atlanta.
need to move the patch day to a
Atlanta.
Wednesday, is what I'm saying, on Monday.
Okay.
Just for that reason.
I'll see what we
so
can
I
do.
don't have to. Thank you.
it's probably not going to happen. But
Well, you know, I'll put it on the poll thing we'll see how it goes.
there's
should
a
look
question about who's going to win the NBA and NHL championship this year. NBA, I feel like the Thunder are just so good. They probably will end up winning again.
No, I was going to say, like, why would I care about either of those when WrestleMania is this weekend?
WrestleMania is this weekend.
WrestleMania is
Did
this
you?
WrestleMania. Yeah, that's right. It was this weekend. Did y'all tune in? Did y'all see it? How was it? Let me know. I didn't watch it.
Nope.
I saw some clips. I saw Speed was on there again on the what was that 4-man, 6-man team brawl. Oh my gosh, he betrayed Logan. I saw some clips. I need to rewatch them like to see what really happened. Like, oh shoot, that was wild.
See, they're on. It's on the prediction markets. You can bet
Oh, you
on
bet.
the.
Okay. You
WrestleMania.
can really bet on those.
Yeah, you can bet on the
It's all
WrestleMania
rigged,
matches.
though. No,
yeah,
I don't.
well,
I'm
I
not
mean,
trying to
so is the
spoil.
economy,
No
so, you
spoilers,
know.
okay? But like it is scripted.
Yep, it's
Femi
scripted.
better win, though. That's all I care
Yeah,
about.
I think the prediction
has to.
markets have him winning right now.
Femi has to.
NHL, I have not followed this year. I apologize. I'm a San Jose Sharks fan, so this has been a very developmental year for the team. So it's been fun, like following the players, but I haven't really followed the league as a whole because I was like, they don't have a chance to do anything. And yeah, Macklin was sick.
I will look for another question, but someone just said,
Yes.
does anyone make fun of you when you say schedule? Do I say schedule?
No schedules.
Schedule.
Okay.
Schedule.
So there's
Maybe think about it.
there's
I'm like,
some-
I'm gonna say schedule.
there's some like. I feel like there's some like movie or something where they say it more like schedule.
Schedule.
Yeah, right.
Schedule.
Which is more.
Schedule.
Which is yeah.
Yeah.
There's ways of saying it that are not.
Schedule. Schedule. What questions you got, chat?
Let's see.
Make them good.
Thoughts on making successive moonlight phases longer so moonlight items get stronger throughout the match?
What was that one? Sorry, I missed it.
It's an interesting idea. I would say I've not really thought about it. I do like that it's kind of a predictable cycle right now, so it's a little bit easier to learn for players. But I understand the idea of like the stakes heightening and like how it could feel like that. It's not a bad pitch. It's something we'd have to talk about more.
I will say the one thing in Conquest that always comes into play is like you do
It
want to.
would be like adding the actual moon phases. Adding another layer to the chat right there. By extending it longer, you make the moon cycles. Extend the time period. And then there's going to be new moon, full, waning, waxing, crescent, gibbous. And then the full moon, it's just a whole, all nighttime. That'd be pretty interesting, Adding another layer to that chat right there. Perhaps that's how they could do it. If they decided to do it.
A game to end eventually, and I think like EFG and stuff like that is a good example of that. Just to make sure we close out games rather than go, hey, it's 72 minutes in the game and no team can, kill anything or end the game. But sometimes those states of game just shows that I guess matchmaking was good in those instances, right? Right. Sure.
Like people complain if games are really long and close, and they complain if games are too short. And it's like you got.
Well, they're only close because my carry is weaker than their carry, and he's got combat blink.
Yeah.
Like that. That's how some people view it.
Yeah, I don't know. So
There's a balance point. At the end of the day, you're an individual playing a team game, and you're gonna get frustrated with your teammates and the enemy team all the time. I know for a fact. I got called ass for feeding yesterday a lot in my game. Feels bad, man. You're playing a team game, and you're gonna get frustrated with your teammates and the enemy team all the time. I know for a fact. I got called ass for feeding yesterday a lot in my game.
Damn, he got called ASS for feeding. Oh my gosh.
Feels bad, man.
I was in a game yesterday where somebody just went. There was a bad player on my team, which is it happens, right? No, it wasn't you. Okay. It was just some random. But this other guy in the lobby just like
lost it.
It was just like raging at him and calling him bad things. And so I immediately sent a message to customer support, and he has been promptly banned. So
You're doing your service.
I do what I can.
Suspensions before bans. I know we use the word term bans as well. I'll look for one more question.
Yeah, sorry, we've been kind of just rambling here for these last few.
It was a bit long.
Yeah.
Get that ish out of here.
On days when we have like a very long technical section, I feel like the Q&A is a little bit more freeform because we kind of just need to like take a breath.
Yeah, for sure.
We do a little bit of patch notes, a little bit of Q&A, a little bit of more patch notes, a bit
is
of
there a way to
Q&A.
report other than in-game? If you are trying to report a player, please use the in-game tools. We do review those.
You could also check when you're in game as well. If you get it out of game and you close the lobby, you can check the recently played and report them there too, just as a heads up. I think a lot of people may go, I didn't report them in the live game, but you can still see them on the list and hit report. There is definitely those reports get through to us. That's definitely the best way. I promise you, it's the best way.
if you're trying to report a bug, there is
Smite2.com/bugs.
Yep, and we do read all those.
Bug
and
report
We
forum
were the
as
ones
well
that are in
in
there,
game.
like passing them along.
we triage them the best we can, and some of them, like sometimes I actually like you will get an email from me if like there's a specific thing that like I need more information on. It's like, hey, we've been trying to track this out, and you are the perfect person. And sometimes they just ignore my emails, but you know, it's yeah, we definitely do read all the bug reports and we try and work through them. Sometimes people report things that aren't actually bugs. Sometimes people just tell us that, you know, they hate us for various reasons. But, you know, that's
I saw some of those today. I was like, oh,
Player haters.
Well, chat, thank you so much for tuning in
Mitches.
to us today. We will keep answering questions. But
Yep.
It's only 2:05 and we want to get on with getting things done for the game to
For
be
sure.
good for next week. Thanks again for tuning in. If we don't see you beforehand, we'll see you on the battleground.
Peach it.
Bye.
Later. Fantastic show. Once again, gentlemen. Holy moly. Oh my gosh, yo, today was chest and back day. I was off yesterday. I had to restart today. Feeling pretty great. Tomorrow's, I did core too. A little bit of core. Tomorrow's gonna be shoulders and legs, baby. Oh yeah. That's it for today, everybody. We are no longer ignorant.
Nope.
We have informed ourselves with what's to come tomorrow. Ishtar drops tomorrow, along with the new changes, new skins, and travelers. Looking forward to it. Perhaps we'll be doing more rankies now. You know? Now that these new changes are better, I guess I would say better suited for the overall health of the game. Shout out to the live gang, replay gang in the feature, and of course the Lurk Squad. Thank you to all the chatters returning and new. Appreciate all of your support. We'll be returning tomorrow with Ishtar OB33 update. That's right. We'll more than likely be going into overtime. So tune in. Shout out to y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a wonderful week. Make sure to exercise, drink plenty of water, and stay hydrated. Eat healthy, nutritious meals. Get plenty of rest and sleep. Don't discard your cardio. Honor your rest days. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Much love. Peace. It was a privilege and a pleasure serving you all. Until tomorrow. See you then. Take care.